Namaskar and good evening to all of you. It's a really great opportunity for me to be coming here at Rishihul University and introducing my book. Sampadananji has already spoken about it. So, let me, before I also begin, let me also thank the team of Rishihud University, particularly Yashovardhan Tiwari, who was also a part of this conference which we had organized, and also Sampadaranji and the entire faculty members for thinking about organizing this book discussion today. And so far as the book is concerned, you already have the background that the papers that were presented in the conference, which we had organized last year, it was organized in March 2024 in collaboration. India Foundation had organized this in collaboration with Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay Chair at Banaras Hindu University. And in fact, before organizing this conference, the entire idea came up when we were at India Foundation. Ram Madhavji came up with this idea: can we do a conference on integral humanism? Though already there are various events happening on integral humanism, but he wanted us to further explore on the ideas of Jacques Maritain, because Jacques Maritain as a thinker is not really much read about, much researched about so far as India is concerned. So, in fact, Sampadananji, in fact, when you said when people think that integral humanism of Deen Dayal Upadhyay ji is just a cut and paste. So here, the idea was just to break this myth. So far as the other scholars, they also believe in such a concept, and that is why we thought of organizing this international conference. And we, while organizing this conference, we got in touch with some other French scholars. So we also invited them. Combe is already here, and along with Combe, there were other scholars who came from Sorbonne University, the Abu Dhabi campus, and they further talked about integral humanism, its economic implications, and also we had other scholars who focused on different aspects of integral humanism. So, and that is how we came up with this conference. And after the papers were presented, we did several reviews, and after editing it, now it is in the form of the book, which was just in front of you. In fact, it was released by the Honorable Governor Arif Muhammad Khanji on 11th of February this year, when we had the second edition of this conference at Central University of Bodh Gaya. So, in fact, this volume, which is titled Integral Humanism, Perspectives of Deen Dayal Upadhyay and Jacques Maritain, is a compilation of selected papers, which, as you all know, and I have also introduced this. In fact, the exploration of integral humanism through the perspectives of Deen Dayal Upadhyay and Jacques Maritain presents a profound intersection of political thought, spirituality, and ethics. In fact, people must be scholars and generally the students, especially, we had this. Uh, a major challenge when we came up with this idea, and when the when call for abstracts were floated, and when we got when we were screening the abstracts, in fact, we had to share the books of Jacques Maritain, because the scholars, the research scholars particularly, they were not really aware about Jacques Maritain. So we downloaded the soft copy of the book. Thankfully, they were available. We circulated it with the students, and thereby they started doing their research. We had some senior scholars; they also presented. So here, when we compare the ideas of Jacques Maritain and Deen Dayal Upadhyay, in fact, both thinkers, despite emerging from vastly different cultural, religious, and historical context, converge on the idea of integral view of humanism that transcends materialism, promoting holistic development of individuals and societies. And at the heart of their thought lies a fundamental commitment to the dignity of human being. And this in this edited volume, you see there are thematic chapters. The first section focuses on the philosophical aspect of integral humanism. The second section focuses on the social and economic aspect of integral humanism, and the last section focuses on the political aspect of integral humanism. And you can see a wide array of issues being discussed. You find also the philosophical interpretation of the idea of self. Along with that, you see there are chapters on the impact of integral humanism in the digital age today, and then application of integral humanism to sustainable development goals. And then there are chapters on the concept of state, Antodaya, sovereignty. So you see different areas have been covered in these chapters. And before I further speak about the book, let me also briefly give you the idea about Jacques Maritain. In fact, his book Integral Humanism is based on the 6 lectures which he delivered in August 1934 in Colombia. The first version of it had been published in Madrid in 1935. Later, it was translated by Joseph Evans, and it was published by University of Notre Dame later in 1973. And the title of the English version of the book is Integral Humanism, Temporal and Spiritual Problems of a New Christendom. In fact, in this book, Maritain proposes integral humanism as a new style for understanding the relationship between religion and culture, between spiritual and the temporal. He talked about a new style, a style which was very different from the medieval Christendom, and yet firmly grounded in reason and fully in accordance with the principle of Christianity. So here you find some resonance with the idea which Deen Dayal Upadhyay is talking about in the context of India. And in fact, integral humanism has had a great influence on the whole Christian democratic movement in Latin America. And in fact, I'd like to quote what President Caldera from Venezuela had to say in the personal testimony he wrote honoring Maritain on the occasion of his 90th birthday in a journal, New Scholasticism issue. He says, and I quote him, Maritain became the guide for an incommensurable fleet of disciples. Thus, when in the month of April of 1947, a group of intellectuals and men of action met in Montevideo in order to start a Latin American Christian democratic movement of continental scope, the principles taught by Maritain, and particularly those contained in his work Integral Humanism, were adopted as a rich and true source of guidance, unquote. So this was the background we talk about how and why we talk about the concept of integral humanism as propounded by Jacques Maritain, based on his 6 lectures given way back in 1935, and 30 years apart. In 1965, you see, in April 1965, now we are celebrating 60 years. You were talking about the conference that was in commemoration of the 60 years of the lectures given by Deen Dayal Upadhyay. And I need not go into the background of Deen Dayal Upadhyay, as you are already aware about it. So, integral humanism of Deen Dayal Upadhyay, based on his ideas and the way he practiced it as a way of life, is rooted in Indian philosophical tradition, particularly Dharma, which emphasizes on the balanced development of and integration of body, mind, intellect, and soul. And not only integration of he's not only talking about the integration of body, mind, intellect, and soul, but he's also talking about the 4 Purusarth, Dharma, Arth, Kam, and Moksha. And in fact, when you talk about this, how he talks about the commune, the individual cannot be seen in isolation from the community or the cosmos. I agree with Sambadananji. He introduced the concept of Advaita Vedanta. So in fact, when you talk about Aham Brahmasmi, Tattvamasi, so in fact, when he talks about individual being a part of the entire cosmos, and we are all one. So in fact, it was the same concept which even Jacques Maritain was also talking about when he talked about the concept of integral humanism. And further in this book, you see there are chapters on how Deen Dayal Upadhyay is further talking about the concept of Chiti, as you are all aware about. I'm not again elaborating on that aspect. Then the concept of Virat, how Virat energizes the entire nation. Then there are chapters on the economic dimension, which talks about the economic aspects of the thought of Deen Dayal Upadhyay and Jacques Maritain. And in fact, both the thinkers, they were against the concept of socialism, democracy, and Deen Dayal ji is also talking about how it is not possible to adopt foreignisms in our country in the original form and in toto. So you find all these mentioned in the 4 lectures of Deen Dayal Upadhyay. And further here, I would like to quote from his first lecture, where Deen Dayal Upadhyay says, and in fact, these questions are even relevant now. It was relevant at the time in 65 when these lectures were given, and also now let me quote from the first lecture of Deen Dayal ji. What would be the face of New Bharat after independence? In which direction were we to advance? Now that we are independent, what shall be the direction of our progress? So these are just 3 sentences, but you can continue your research on this, and in fact it gives a huge fertile ground for doing research. These 3 sentences in fact covers you can say provides a new path for the researchers to carry forward the research. And then he also talks about historical consciousness, and then again, to quote from him, from his lecture, he says the basic cause of the problem facing Bharat is the neglect of national identity. And then he further elaborates on this. He talks about having a national perspective, and he talks about the importance of Bharatiya culture and how it could point direction to the world. And in fact, this line also gives a very, you can say, a very significant perspective to understand how world sees India. And in fact, one of the reference point is the book by Jaishankar ji, Why Bharat Matters, which is all about how the world is looking at us, where he is also talking about going back to our roots, and then he's quoting stories from Ramayana. So these are some of the you can say important issues and important concepts which can be taken from these lectures given by Deen Dayal Upadhyay and further worked upon. And now again coming to Jacques Maritain, within the context of Western philosophy, Jacques Maritain, the Catholic philosopher, was concerned primarily with metaphysics and theology, and contributed significantly to the development of integral humanism. Influenced by Thomistic philosophy, Maritain sought to reconcile the principles of classical philosophy with Christian theology. His integral humanism places at its core human person and its spiritual dignity, emphasizing the intrinsic worth and rights of every individual. And further, just to quote from Maritain, he considers humanism as inseparable from civilization or culture, these 2 words being themselves taken as synonymous. He takes these two concepts, civilization and culture, as synonymous concepts. According to him, culture or civilization is the expansion of not only whatever is needed for the material, but also above all moral development of speculative and practical activities, which is properly worthy of being called human development. He further goes on to say that civilization thus develops between 2 poles, the economic pole on the one side dealing with the most urgent human necessities of the ethico-biological order, and the religious pole on the other side relating to the most urgent human necessities of the soul. So here again you find some resonance with what Deen Dayal Upadhyay had to say later. And then further, let me quote from Maritain. He says, religion is a constitutive element of the civilization or culture since antiquity. And he says religion is then the soul of the city. As in Aristotelian biology, the vegetative soul is the substantial part of the plant. In this case, A distinction between spiritual and temporal as between two orders specifically distinct is strictly speaking inconceivable, and the more the religion becomes earthly and socio-political, the more this is so. So he is talking about how it is very difficult to separate the spiritual and the temporal dimension, and also he considers religion as the soul of the city, and he is comparing it with Aristotelian biology, where Aristotle talks about the vegetative soul of the plant, how the plant is being nurtured by the vegetative soul. Similarly, the society is being nurtured by religion. And then he further says the true religion is essentially supernatural, and because it is supernatural, it is not of man, nor of the world, nor of a race, nor of a nation, nor of a civilization, nor of a culture. It is of the intimate life of God. It transcends every civilization and every culture. It is strictly universal. So these were some of the quotes from Jacques Maritain, and in fact, different chapters, they are they have further elaborated on these concepts, and I have just taken a paragraph from a chapter by Felix Machado, Archbishop Felix Machado. Combe will be talking about his chapter also, so I just wanted to read a paragraph. Um, to quote from Felix Machado's chapter from the book, he says, Jacques Maritain, borrowing from Saint Thomas Aquinas, views the human person not only as coming from God, but also as returning to God, as their final cause and the final end. The entire person is relative to the absolute, in which alone it can find its fulfillment. God, who is spirit, is our highest purpose and highest joy. Humans are therefore made not for isolation, but are made for communion. That is why they are given souls and spirits. They are given reason and will, so that they can freely enter a loving relationship with the Creator, a relationship in which they can understand and be conscious of God's nature and goodness and respond freely to His love, not as robots, but as subjects. Their dignified independence as persons, their self possession, is for the sake of enabling true self giving and thus true communion. So, this was from his chapter, and in fact, uh, as we reflect on the legacies of Buddha thinkers, we find a robust foundation for addressing the challenges of the modern world, which lies at the world lies at the inflection point today, engulfed with sectarian violence, humanitarian crisis, social inequalities, and the degradation of human values. All these calls for a balanced approach to development, and the emphasis and the emphasis is on ethical governance. And it is, you see it widely resonating everywhere. Even the presentation which was made today is also covering one of those aspects. So, integral humanism, whether conceived by Deen Dayal Upadhyay or Jacques Maritain, offers a holistic approach to social development. It emphasizes the integration of material and spiritual dimensions of human existence. Deen Dayal Upadhyay's vision focuses on the synthesis of traditional value system of India with modern needs. He advocates for a balanced growth that harmonizes individual and collective welfare. Similarly, Jacques Maritain's concept stresses the unity of human life, blending personal freedom with the common good rooted in Christian philosophy and theology. And this edited volume, in fact, covers the 18 chapters focusing on different aspects. Throughout the book, the contributors have articulated various facets of integral humanism, illustrating on how this philosophical framework can be applied to the challenges of modernity. It is evident that Deen Dayal Upadhyay and Jacques Maritain, despite their different points of departure, shared a common goal to offer a holistic alternative to the fragmentations of liberalism, materialism, and extreme ideologies that disregard the human persons and the spiritual dimension. So, with this brief introduction, I think we already have two contributors. They will be talking about their respective chapters. So, I would stop here, and thank you once again for inviting us for this book discussion. Thank you.